Hey everybody, and welcome back to the channel. It's your girl Lori, and I'm here with episode 4 of 5 of the micro goal series. Okay, so now that we've talked a little bit about what a micro goal is, how to set them, what happens when you run into the procrastination and motivation situation, and now let's talk about pausing in the progress to celebrate. Okay, so here's the deal. You can plan this out for the month. So let's go back in the top of the series. I was talking to you about if you were going to declutter your home house, or minimize your whole house, what that would look like. And let's say we have it in a 12-month place. Okay, it's kind of like, and I started watching on Netflix. I started watching Instant Dream House, which is, I don't know, I'm like obsessed with this Dream House because they get it done in like 12 hours. But whatever, they don't, because talk about micro goaling. They micro goal this project to death. Go out and watch it. It's on Netflix, and you'll see Danielle. She's in my show Peacekeeper that I watch. She's a good actress. But at one point she pulls out this big board that they have worked 3 months, by the way. These people worked 3 months to plan 250 people to go into somebody's house and not demolish it, but let's say change everything in 12 hours. You might be like, oh, how do they do that? Because this thing is micro gold down to the moment. And you'll see how they color black. I'm like, oh my God, these are my people. I color black too. So it's pretty spectacular. Go out there and you'll get a better idea of why I said you have to pause in the progress. Now, of course, they're a little different because they're doing a show and they have to be done for the day. There's not a lot of pausing. But for you, there is. Okay? So when I say paused in the progress, there's going to be times, regardless of how micro goaled you are, other things in your life comes up. So if your goal is your macro goal is to declutter and minimize the house, you still have other things to do in your life, right? So something might pull you off course here or pull you off course here or throw something awesome your way here. But in the same token, you must pause and take stock of your progress. So let me give you this as an analogy. Okay, so you and I, we decide your macro goal is to climb Mount Everest, way up here. I've used this before, so I like to use this analogy because it's a good one. So here's Mount Everest, and you're going to climb the top of Mount Everest. You're not climbing that Mount Everest in a week. It is not happening. There's variations of altitudes. Don't ever do it by yourself. Do it with a guide. They know where to stop you. You might have to stay there a day or two to get your body used to it, okay? Now, I want you to pretend as though whatever this task is Mount Everest, because very often what we see as overwhelm is like huge to us, right? Until it isn't, until we take those bite-sized, snack-sized pieces. So let's say you get to that first step. So we're climbing up the mountain. We've gotten to that first place. You're like, whew, that was a lot. Well, typically you're going to get there. You got to stay there a day to just acclimate. And you still look up that mountain and you go, wow, I feel like I didn't do anything. I still feel like there's this big old mountain here. Look at all that mountain. Yeah, there is still a lot of mountain there. Why are you looking at that? That's not your next goal. Your next goal is that little stop right here. But we ain't worried about that. Now, what I want you to do, pretend that you're on this mountain. I want you to look backwards to over there, where you just came from. Okay? I don't care if you're this far away or that far away. You did make progress. You have made progress. You get really focused on this forward direction. Great. But that can be overwhelming. You better pause and look where you came from. Okay? Look where you came from. You have made progress. And don't do that thing where you're like, I got a little progress, but daggone, look at all that. Why are we focusing there? You're not staying in the present space. That will burn you out. Period. You're always looking at the next thing you need to do. I need to do this. I need to do that. I need to do this. I need to do that. This has to happen. That has to happen. Yeah, I did that, but now I still have all these things to do. You're not celebrating where you are. So you're going to take a time out. Okay? So just like Mount Everest, you're going to look at whatever this macro goal is. You're going to take a pause for a minute. I'm not saying days on end. I'm saying just breathe. Like take a couple hours, a couple minutes. Sit in gratitude of where you've come from. This is where you got to give yourself your accolades. That's right. Big yourself up. You made progress. Celebrate that. I don't care that you haven't gotten here. You did move from here. If you move from here, where this finger is, to here, that is success. That is progress. From here to here is progress. Okay? And even if you go from here to here, where you have to go back a little bit, which in healing, you will always slide backwards because it just goes into old thought patterns, but you have new tools. So you don't beat yourself up from going backwards, right? So if you started to go up Mount Everest again and you kind of slip down a little bit, it's perfectly fine because you're not going all the way to the bottom. You would just be sliding back to where you just were. It's fine. It's part of success. It's part of life. So when you're on this macro goal and micro goaling, I'm going to need you to take a pause and look at your progress. Look, you'll discover a lot. Again, it's not judgment. So if you go, wow, I spent a lot of time doing that. What could I have done differently there? Okay, so in the next project, I could probably minimize some time by doing this and this. That's fine, but that's productive. You don't get to go, I can't believe I did that. I wasted like 3 hours on that. How stupid am I? Well, that's really productive, said no one ever. That's not productive, but if you go, okay, I spent a lot of time there. Is there something, oh, I see where I could have done that a little bit different, or you know what, I couldn't have done it any different and it's going to take 3 hours. It's the acceptance of it. But see, this is just for life. This isn't just for this topic of micro-goaling. This is in life. You have survived 1,000% of your bad days. I didn't say you loved it, and I didn't say it was easy. I said you survived it. Don't care how you did, but you did. So stop looking and beating yourself up, worried about like, where do you need to go? What do you need to do? All these things still need to happen. Oh my God, I'm behind time. Don't do that. You're in no race with anybody. This is something you put in your head. Everybody my age are doing these things. Why am I not? Well, why are you focused on them? The amount of work that you need to put in based on what you think you see that somebody is doing, oh wow, their house is really spotless. Okay, do they do it themselves? Do they have somebody to come help them? What's their plan? Maybe you ask them. Maybe instead of envying them, you go, hey, I have a quick question. Your house is always so meticulous and organized, right? I don't want my house to be super meticulous. I want it to be lived in. But if you're like, hey, it's meticulous. Like, how do you get that done? And they go, oh, well, you know what? This is what I've done, but I also have somebody come in and help me, and this is what I'm doing. Great, now you have an idea. So all the people that you want to emulate and that you're FOMO and that you're envying, use them as inspiration. Why would you be jealous of anybody? There's zero reason to be jealous of anybody on this planet. Use them as inspiration. Wow, that's awesome. They really came from nothing. Or wow, they are really like killing the game. Let me figure it out instead of go, well, why can't this be me? Ooh, now we're sliding into victim mentality. Okay, now we're sliding into victim mentality, so you have to be really careful. But regardless of where you are right now, good, bad, stuck, whatever, right now, it's exactly where you need to be. You ain't got to love it, but it's where you need to be at this moment in time. So that's my point with you, is you have to be aware that where you are in this moment of time is exactly where you need to be, whether you like it or not. And then you get to say, okay, well, where did I come from? Now, do not do it the other way around, where you're like, God, but I was doing so good. And I was so like confident. And now I'm not. Now I didn't go forward. I've gone backwards. No, you haven't gone backwards. You're restructuring your life. You didn't go backwards. You see it as going backwards. What was serving you in that moment no longer serves you. If you constantly say, I'm going backwards, or I used to be this and now I'm not, why are we living in our past now? The universe has removed things from you. Even if you thought it was working, it may not have been working right now. So your homework and your call to action right now, okay, outside of just the micro goals, is I want you to take a pause. And I want you to look to where you came from. Not what you had. I don't care about your material possessions. I could care less about them. I could care less if you have 80 million followers or $80 million in the bank. It's irrelevant to me. Unless you're going to give me the $80 million, and it's very relevant. But what I want you to do is I want you to look at where you are. You don't give yourself enough credit. That's fine that you got all these to go. That's why the micro goals. Give yourself the gift of these micro goals. Stop trying to get it all done. Stop it. Teeny tiny bite size. That's success, baby. Every little baby step gets you to the goal. Stop trying to take these giant leaps and bounds. It's not a sprint. It's a marathon. Okay? Don't tortoise and hare it out the gate. You can get to where you're going. For example, if I gave you $100 million right now, it'd be great. You'd probably have a nice house, nice cars, things would be paid off. Your mind would still be the same. Now you'd definitely be paranoid. Are they my friends because of money? Oh my God. Okay, now you start trying to buy friends. Okay, now we have whole bigger problems. So it's not about the material possessions and where you still need to go. That's great to have that goal. But you gotta take the pause and appreciate your efforts. You matter and you are important. And you're also a flawed human being. Congratulations. Welcome to the world of being a human being. I love you guys for that. So your homework to stay on this trajectory is to pause, the power of the pause. Okay? That is your homework and call to action.